Scotland is full of ghost stories, misty moors, ancient castles, and restless spirits. But few are as heartbreaking or as haunting as the story of Lady Janet Douglas, the woman known today as the Grey Lady of Glamis Castle. Her ghost is said to wander the halls of one of Scotland's most beautiful castles, wrapped in sorrow and smoke. But before she was a ghost, she was a woman, betrayed by power, condemned by lies, and burned alive for crimes she didn't commit. And this is her story. Lady Janet Douglas was born around 1498 into one of Scotland's most powerful families, the Douglases. Her brother, Archibald Douglas, was the 6th Earl of Angus, a man whose ambition shaped her destiny. When she was young, Janet married John Lyon, the 6th Lord Glamis. Together they lived in Glamis Castle, a place of luxury, nobility, and secrets, a castle that still stands today in the misty hearts of Angus, Scotland. Life should have been good for Lady Janet, but Scotland in the early 1500s was not a peaceful place. Janet's brother, Archibald Douglas, had once been the husband of Margaret Tudor, the widow of King James IV and the mother of King James V. Yes, that's right. Lady Janet's brother had married the Queen Mother, which made the Douglas family incredibly powerful and incredibly dangerous to the young king. When James V grew up, he hated the Douglases. He believed they had stolen his mother's loyalty in his childhood. And when he finally took control of the throne, he swore revenge. The king banished the Douglas family, stripped them of their titles, and set out to destroy anyone connected to them. And that's when he turned his eyes towards Lady Janet Douglas. At first, the king accused her of plotting against him, claiming she had tried to poison him. There was no evidence, no witnesses, just royal hatred. Then the charges escalated. In 1537, she was accused of witchcraft and of conspiring with spirits and using magic to kill the king. It was one of the first major witchcraft accusations in Scotland, and it came from the very top. To make things worse, her family's castle, Glamis, was seized, and her teenage son, John Lyon, was imprisoned. The king's men tortured her servants, forcing them to confess that the Lady Janet had summoned demons to help her murder the king. Their confessions were extracted under unbearable pain, and despite her noble birth, Lady Janet Douglas was sentenced to death. On July 17th, 1537, the people of Edinburgh gathered at the esplanade of Edinburgh Castle. A tall wooden platform had been built. Lady Janet Douglas, dressed in grey, was led to the stake. Witnesses said she was calm and dignified, even as the executioner tied her to the post and piled wood around her feet. Her son was forced to watch as his mother was burned alive, a punishment both cruel and political. King James V had finally taken his revenge on the Douglas family. But what he didn't expect was that Lady Janet would return. After her death, people began to whisper about the spirit of Lady Janet Douglas. It was still lingering, not at Edinburgh Castle, where she died, but at Glamis Castle, her beloved home. Servants reported seeing a woman in grey walking slowly through the chapel in long stone corridors. She never spoke, she never screamed, but she wept. Sometimes witnesses said she appeared kneeling at the chapel altar, praying for forgiveness. Other times she was seen gliding silently up the staircase, her face pale and sorrowful, disappearing through solid walls. Even today, visitors to Glamis Castle claim to feel sudden chills in the chapel, or smell the faintest scent of smoke and burning, as if the fire that took her life still clings to her soul. Glamis Castle is one of Scotland's most haunted places, and Lady Janet isn't its only ghost, but she is, without question, its most famous. Many say her spirit remains because she was wrongfully accused. Others believe she is bound to Glamis because of the love for her son, the boy forced to watch her die. Legend says her ghost sometimes appears beside a shadowy figure of a child, the son who lost everything that day in 1537. And those who have seen her say that her eyes are full of sadness, not anger, as if she's still asking for peace that never came. After Lady Janet's death, the Douglas name was restored. Her son was eventually freed and her family's lands were returned, but no justice ever came for her. The king who killed her, James V, died only 6 years later at age 30. And while his body was buried in splendor, it's said that his spirit still wanders Scotland, restless and haunted by guilt. Meanwhile, the Grey Lady of Glamis continues to walk the halls of her old home, silent, sorrowful, and eternal. And that's the story of Lady Janet Douglas, the Grey Lady of Glamis Castle, a noble woman betrayed by power, condemned by lies, and burned alive in the name of revenge. If you made it this far, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and follow Think Snack for more dark history, ghost stories, and true tales that will make you think. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you believe Lady Janet's spirit still haunts Glamis Castle? Or do you think her ghost is just Scotland's way of remembering her pain? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And until next time, stay curious. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.